Okay, well, here we are now. We are live on our Facebook format, so we appreciate everybody being here. And now we're live on our Spreaker as well. Let me open it up to Facebook because, as you all know, Facebook, for whatever reason, just will not always makes it private. I don't know why they keep doing it. I keep changing it over and over and over. They keep fixing anyway. Now it's fixed, so that's all that matters. Hello. Happy Saturday to all you guys. Well, hopefully, wherever you are in this world, you're having a good weekend. It's just, I can't believe it's gone. The week, it just seems like it goes so fast. This year, we're already in August. For goodness sakes, it's flying by. It's going so fast. It is crazy. It is, at least I think it is. I don't know. Maybe you guys don't think it's that, but, well, hello there, Iceland. It's, yeah. Okay. It's Tuco soy and blah 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 blah. You're blocked. So yeah, already we haven't even done the show and already there's trolls. Okay, so let me just say, okay, first of all, if you want to go to my website, bishopjameslong.com, that's my website. If you want to go to the church's website, it's usocc.org. That's the church's website. So again, bishopjameslong.com. And of course, usocc.org. So let me just say this. First of all, because I have to do it every single time because apparently it's a problem. TikTok, if you're trolls, I will not pay attention to you. We're not in middle school. We're adults here. And so I completely and totally ignore trolls. So I don't, I know that you've got to get attention, but you're wasting your time here. So if you're going to try to troll here, because you want to get my attention, I will completely ignore you. The only people that actually will pay attention to you will be the moderators who will block you. Everybody else, welcome. Isn't it sad that you have to go through this every single time? But you just have to. Yeah, she said, I'll give you attention. Yeah, that's right. So it's just one of those things. We just push on because we are adults, and we don't play these silly games. I just don't understand. I just miss the days where where you just where you meet people face to face, and I'm not talking about fighting. You had friends and you go out with people, and it seems like social media is good, but it's also very negative because so many toxic people love to try to show how brilliant they are by throwing out insults, but really they just show how lonely of a sad person that they are. So, but we're here, so there we are. Now, you're right. Adults, isn't that the truth? Adults can be more childish than kids. Isn't that absolutely true? Um, well, I mean, yeah, the demonology course is pretty extensive. And of course, now keep in mind, you also learn demonology, angelology, paranormal studies, and genealogy. So it's actually four classes all wrapped up in one. And a lot of people have really enjoyed it. A lot of work has gone into that. So, there's presentations out there that's online, and that's fine. People can take their classes from whoever they wish to take it from, but take it from whomever it is, somebody who's actually in the field. Anybody can read a book on demonology, but that doesn't make them a demonologist. Anybody can read a book on angelology and exorcism. It doesn't make them an exorcist. So there's a lot of people out there calling themselves demonologists and exorcists who really have never, honest to God, if they look in the mirror and they look at themselves, they know darn well they've never worked a demonic case in their life. But they just like that tagline, that they want that tagline of demonologist or exorcist. And I don't understand. I don't get it. Demonologist or exorcist has nothing to do about celebrity status, nothing. And actually, if anybody is doing it for celebrity status, then they're going to have some really difficult times in life. Really, really difficult times. But for those of you who don't know, 8 o'clock to 8:30, I bring Miss Wilma on. Miss Wilma has been on with us for a long time. I've known her for, over 20 years. And we just have a good time. We joke around. We kid around. For 30 minutes, that's what we do. So people are going to say, well, why don't you answer my demonic questions? Because the world doesn't revolve around you, sunshine. And furthermore, from 8 to 8:30, we like to entertain people, to put a smile on people's face, and let everybody know it's going to be okay. Just forget about all the stress and anxiety. But I do apologize. I have to apologize beforehand because, we have the crazy woman coming up. Mr. Producer, I was not ready for this. I don't have my anxiety medicine. I don't have the anxiety. I didn't take it. So Mr. Producer, okay, fine. All right. Well, Mr. Producer decided to go ahead and play. All right. Yes, she was raised in a barn. All right. And here she is, the one and only Miss Wilma. Yes.
Oh, hi.
Oh, boy.
I am so sorry for the delay. Whew,
Yeah.
I see you.
Yeah, we know.
I hope everybody's having a great night.
That's what she was doing. That's what the delay. Every single time we go on the show, every time. That's why the delay. That's why Mr. Producer played her entrance. Rude.
It wasn't bad. It was. I hope everybody's having a great night. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was trying to hurry.
Oh.
While y'all was waiting for me, I was putting on my makeup. I really wanted to look nice for everyone tonight.
No. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry.
I was wanting to look nice for everybody.
I gave everybody a warning. I did. I gave everybody a warning before I brought her on. To be fair, I did. I did. Well, okay. Well, we're glad that your makeup is beautiful.
Well, thank you very much.
What are you doing, Miss Wilma?
Oh, I feel so famous. Wow, people are really liking me. They was really taking a lot of pictures until I found out it was lightning.
No. I tell you what. No. The reason is they took the pictures because they wanted to see the animal that escaped the zoo. That's what that was. That's it. Thank you, Mr. Producer. Thank you.
I got the booze.
Yeah, I'm just.
That's not
You can.
I don't like that.
Well, you.
I thought they was really liking me because I saw that flash. I thought, oh wow. Well, it turned out to be lightning. I couldn't help it.
So you're seeing lightning now, huh?
Yeah.
You're so bright. You are so bright. The sun just shines on you 24/7, doesn't it, Princess?
Oh, thank you for noticing that.
Yep, that is it. Cheers, everybody. So we're going to definitely go ahead and drink to that one. Cheers. It's water.
Wow, my neighbor. Oh, my stars.
Oh, boy.
I got trouble.
What'd you do?
My neighbor banged on my door yesterday.
Okay.
Was asking if I seen who stole her laundry off of her line. I got such a fright, I almost wet her panties.
So a couple things there. Couple things there. Number one, did you just say panties on air?
Yeah, that's better than what I did last week.
Number two.
Yeah, you didn't get the joke.
I got that was great. Terrific joke. That was wonderful. And
I mean, that wasn't the bad word. I mean, everybody wears panties.
Not ever. No. Okay. No. Let me rephrase that, Princess. No. Don't, baby. No.
Everybody.
Not baby. No. See, look what you've done, Mr. Producer. We got to get the studio. We got to get. No. Please get it out. I do. For the record, I do not wear panties. So, all right. I just said that. Now, do you? Well, look at this show just went. Okay, here we go.
I'm keeping it clean.
Yeah, that's right. You're talking about laundry, so there we are.
Well, yeah, it's true. The drive home was awful last night.
Where'd you go?
Yeah, it was a traitor.
Oh, Boy, it must have been a bad drive. My gosh. Where do you go? Where do you go? Okay, where do you go at night? That's what I want to know. This is, I mean, where do you go? I mean, I'm just saying.
I didn't mean trader. I mean tractor.
Okay. I mean, Miss Wilma's going out at night talking about a trailer and tractor. And I mean, I'm just saying, folks, this is a PG show. PG show. Okay, let's back the train up. Back the train up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's try.
The drive home was awful last night.
Okay.
A tractor trailer was carrying laundry detergent and trash and spilt detergent all over 4 lanes.
Mm-hmm.
Traffic was tied up for hours. Get it tied, T-I-D-E.
Oh, that was.
You didn't like that
I have no control over the buttons, so I cannot control.
The last 2 jokes was sissies, by the way.
Okay, well, you're okay, but your sister tells wonderful jokes, but she did not say traitor, and she wasn't, and the other words I imagine so. But we're trying.
She's the one who told me about the wet panties.
Okay, folks, I'm telling you, this is what happens. Right before the show, every time before the show.
That was my fault.
Oh, you're gonna blame it on Lynn. Okay.
No, it was mine. That's
there we go. All right, fair enough.
A man told his wife, our neighbor crashed his car.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "Who, Ray?" He told her, "Don't think you should cheer about it." Get it? Because she said hooray, like R-A, like, about the man's voice. And she went hooray. And he thought that she was cheering.
I appreciate you explaining the joke. That's
You're right, Wilson. That's the funny part.
There's the dying donkey.
That's the funny part.
That's the dying donkey, just like the joke. It died on delivery.
On the way to Graceland.
Oh yeah, Graceland.
I kept noticing all the cars was driving really fast.
Oh boy.
I kept looking over, and them there trees were a cop. Never did see one.
Folks, let me tell you something. Let me explain this. So Miss Wilma and I, we went out with, and her sister, we go to Graceland. We haven't been for a while. Memphis, Tennessee, by the way. If you've never been, you got to go. Graceland is beautiful. Well, Miss Wilma is convinced every time when we're going on the road trip, she's convinced that there's going to be some car hidden behind the tree off of the expressway, like she saw in one of those movies. And she's absolutely convinced it's going to happen. She's 100% going. And I'm telling you, I've ignored her and made fun of her, and so is her sister. And I guarantee you one time it will happen. We'll like, oh yeah, right, Wilma, well, whatever. And then we'll see the red and blue lights. I guarantee you. And we'll just blame Wilma. We'll blame Wilma for it.
Those motorcycles, they get back, that cop gets back there in them their trees. And they do. They had. I saw it on TV.
You did?
It worked.
It worked. Well, I would hope so.
It worked.
Okay, well, yeah, I think that's great. Hey, Miss Wilma, I have some.
What's that? Go ahead.
Why don't skeletons fight each other?
Because they don't have no bones.
No, because they don't have the guts.
Oh,
thank you. That's not. See, you. That was you get.
Because he's in the bones.
Okay, a skeleton. Thank you. Skeletons are bones, and now I'm going to have to give you a great big F, underlined, red writing, and circled.
Wait a minute.
Yes, I have to do it because you said they have no bones, but that's what a skeleton is. So I have to give you an F. Well, you think so? Yes. So I have to give you an F. I'm sorry. It's what I have to do. It breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. Miss Wilma, you don't know for those of you who don't know the story. Miss Wilma, see, she had to draw the United States map, right? And so she decides that she's going to trace the map on a book and then bring it to the school and act like she actually drew it. Well, her teacher didn't like it and gave her an F, and it was circled in red writing. So I always let Miss Wilma know when she messes up, she gets a circled red writing F. There we go.
I did mess up because Cookins had both.
The what?
But that was true though. How did she know I would? I could have been a great artist back then. And that was hard work holding that book up, tracing that map. That was very hard work.
Well, no, you can't. No, ma'am. That is cheater, pumpkin eater.
Yeah, I know, but she didn't say. She just said, go home and draw the nicest map with the state's capital. Well, that's easy. I got a big F on it.
Yeah.
But I played basketball that day. I wadded that little sucker up and pushed it right back in the trash can.
See, I would have never done that. I would not. No way. I would have. And Shannon's.
I didn't want my parents to see that.
You're lucky. Yeah, because I don't know about you guys. But let me tell you this. If we had an F and we threw that paper away, I would be. Ooh,
see, I was thinking mighty smart back then.
Oh, you were?
We didn't have no telephone, and our mom couldn't drive, and Daddy was at work. So see, I thought I had a plan.
Okay, well, hey, that's a good plan. But I wouldn't have done it. I don't know about you guys, but I would not have done it. No way.
Did you hear about the melon getting married?
The melon?
Yeah, like watermelon, melon getting married.
Okay.
Well, actually, it's not a watermelon, just a melon.
Okay. Fair.
Because they can't elope.
Oh.
It was a cantaloupe, not a watermelon. I messed up on that joke.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
I messed up on that joke. I said watermelon. I meant melon. It turned out they can't elope.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. I'm going to have to give. Yeah, that's another F underlined in red writing. So hopefully you'll accept that F because I think it's well deserved.
Okay, I will accept that. That was good wrong. Yes.
Okay, so what else you got?
Why did the baker want money?
I don't know. Why did the baker want money?
Because he was kneading the dough.
Oh, come on. Boo. Boo. I'm sorry.
You're booing Ma's joke.
Her joke was fantastic. Again, it's the delivery. We've already talked about that. So, and if you guys have any jokes you want us to, if you have any jokes, we'll be more than happy to share them. Why is the mushroom always invited to parties? Because he's just a fun guy. Okay, there we go. So he's a fun guy. Well, she's drinking. Okay, all right. So what else? So what other ones do you have?
I went out with this man and he scared me. Yes, he did. He told me soon that you're going to hear sounds of Peter Patter of little feet. And I'm thinking, I'm thinking,
Miss Wilma.
Don't think so.
I mean,
he ended up leaving me for a midget. That's what the Peter Patter is supposed to be. No. You didn't like that joke?
Wilma, we don't use the midget word. They're little people. They don't like the word midget.
I'm sorry, I did not know that.
Well, Miss Wilma still lives in the 1890s. Seriously, there's a lot of people.
I do. I apologize.
Oh no, but Joanne thought that was funny. That was funny. But no, that's you can't. You got to be careful about it because they get upset.
I am so sorry.
Hey Wilma.
Uh-huh.
Just kidding. Yes. Just kidding. Just kidding. I was just pulling your leg.
Well, that wasn't very nice. Here, I was feeling heartbroken, and you teased me.
You just broke their hearts.
Now you get an F.
Oh, Wilma, how could you do that to them?
You got an F now.
How could you do that?
Bishop Long, you got an F.
Yep.
I thought, oh my stars, I wouldn't hurt nobody's feelings for nothing.
Okay, well, I'm just hey, you know what? It's all good.
what? I went to go and try out to be a model. I did.
A what?
They turned me down.
They turned you down because you wanted to be a model?
Yeah, I wanted to go out to be a model, and they turned me down.
Okay.
I was so hurt. They said they didn't like what I had on my neck, my face.
Yeah.
You didn't like that
I think in a minute we're going to be canceled. That'll be it. The ratings are going to plummet. Producers are going to say, "That's it. Get them out of the studio."
A man, a man. I was so mad, yelling at my wife. He said, "I told her this is the worst coffee you ever made. It tastes terrible.
Oh,
really awful."
mm-hmm.
She yelled back, "You nut, that's tea."
Boy, I tell
You
you.
didn't like that one either.
Man, I look. It's not me. We have a studio audience here. I can't help if they're booing you.
But I think it's
Let her go.
monkeys more buttons.
No.
I really do. I really do think that.
No, we can't do that. It's one of those things. It's yeah. She says no. That's a boo.
A man said, "I'm really mad at my wife."
Yeah.
A friend said, "Your wife?" He said, "Yeah. I realized I could have said only one word. I do not." He said, do you ever think like that?" Friend said, "No, my wife's an angel." The guy said, "Oh, you're lucky. Mine's still alive."
Wow, that's pretty rough. That's pretty rough.
That was a show. I only read what I read.
You only read what you read?
I read what I see.
That I think that I appreciate that. You only read what you read. Well, thank you very much for reading what you read. My goodness.
It's not my fault I get these jokes. I think they're funny.
You think they are, huh?
Some of them comes in my brain.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it don't weird.
Hey, Terry. Goodbye. Okay. So I had to. People, there's people being rude. Trolls, just being nasty. So I have to get rid of some individuals, and then report them. So yeah, see, we got to do that. Sorry,
I got one more in it because it's 23 after, and I need to get into my stories.
Okay.
A man went to Walmart. He couldn't find any place to park. Some nut pulled up in a brand new Mercedes in the handicap spot. When he got out of his car, there wasn't anything wrong with him. So I ran over him. I made an honest man out of him.
Boo.
You didn't like that either?
No, that was rough.
Oh, if anybody's liking my joke, please help me along. I'm not a comedian, but I'm really trying.
No, that was boo. So I had to unfriend somebody on Facebook and block them because of their asinine comments. So now they're blocked. Bye-bye. Okay. So yeah, people, they're just, some people are just so nasty. They are so damn nasty. But you know what? We're not. And Miss Wilma, you have fans, by the way. I'm laughing. She's funny. Ha ha. Oh my goodness gracious. Man, Wilma, you got all kinds of, we love Miss Wilma. Boo.
Oh, I love you all too. And thank you for liking my joke. I tried.
You do a great job. You do a great job. So what
this whole world we're living in is such, oh my stars.
It is
so terrible. And if I can put a smile on somebody's face, that warms my heart.
And see, here's the thing, and that's what I always let people know. Here's the thing about Miss Wilma, for those of you who don't know. Miss Wilma, she has multiple sclerosis. Miss Wilma is 68 years old. Miss Wilma also is in heart failure. She has a pacemaker. She struggles every single day to get up and just continue pushing on. And yet Miss Wilma spends hours upon hours preparing for these 30 minutes to make you guys laugh when she herself many times is stressed out with life, stressed out with her health, and yet she is willing to come on to put smiles on your faces. So for the trolls, you can go straight to hell. For Miss Wilma, we appreciate you being here because anybody who would actually be nasty to, well, they're not being nasty to you, Miss Wilma, but anybody who would be nasty, I really think, boy, they're going to have one hell of a time when they meet God face to face. Because I don't think God will be appreciating it. But so that's what Miss Wilma does. She comes on here, and what Alice says, we all love Miss Wilma. And Deb says we. So that's pretty cool. That's what. See, that's
I
what.
love you all too.
That's what life is about. That's what life is about. Life is, it's about being able to help one another. It's about being able to kind of make people smile, because we got so much negativity in this world. That I refuse no more. I won't allow any more negativity in my life. I won't allow any people who are negative in my life. I don't care how long I've been friends with them. If they're negative and nasty and troll, I get rid of them because they just want to steal your joy. You can't let them do that. There are some people that are not ever going to be happy until they make you as miserable as they are. And so we don't do that. Now, the only thing that Miss Wilma does need to work on is the fact that she likes Donny Osmond. That's the only thing she's got to work on.
No, you're right. I don't like Donnie. I love Donnie.
Isn't that the truth? All right, what stories do you got there, Miss Wilma?
I love my Donnie.
I know you do, the girlfriend.
The longest bologna sandwich in the world is 150 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
Is made in Pennsylvania. Community paid every foot-long bite was sponsored at $100 per foot. The money was donated to Lebanon County Christian Ministries. The bologna security used 600 slices of cheese, 1,200 slices of sweet original bologna to make 900.
Wow. Miss Wilma, tell everybody your sandwich. I'm not kidding you. This is no joke. She told me this the other day, and I thought she was joking. Tell everybody.
No, that is my sandwich. I love my sandwich.
No, Princess. Tell everybody what you have on your sandwich. What kind of sandwich you make. This is crazy.
Okay, I'll take my bologna.
Okay.
And cheese.
Okay.
And mustard and pickles. And I'll spread mustard on one slice of my bread. And on the other slice of bread, I'll spread peanut butter. And then of course, that's a sandwich. And of course, I'll have chips and I'll have cottage cheese with peaches. But that's what my meal.
So so it's bologna and cheese. We're good there. I'm good there. Bologna and cheese, and then pickles,
mustard.
And mustard.
I spread the mustard, and then the other slice of bread, I spread peanut
butter. A peanut butter. Now, you did say peanut butter, right?
Yes, I did. Jiffy. I love Jiffy. It spreads smoothly.
Peanut butter with a pickle and mustard.
Yes, it's really good. You ought to just make you a little bitty sandwich and see if you like it. I mean, when I first heard Elvis's banana, what was his?
Fried peanut butter and banana sandwich. It's really good, by the way.
And I thought, that don't sound good. I loved it. But I love that.
Wow.
Now, once in a while, I feel good. It's been a long time I had it, but sometimes I'll fry my bologna and then put that on.
Yeah, and I have heard of fried bologna sandwich. They are good. Fried bologna sandwiches are really, really good. But I mean, it was a bologna, good cheese. Well, I've had bologna cheese. Yep, and even mustard. I've even had that. But then when you kind of really lost me when you said pickles and peanut butter. That's when I'm like, oh, Wilma.
Oh, it's good.
Wow.
Have you ever had bologna and gravy?
Wait, did you bologna sandwich with gravy on it?
No, not bologna sandwich. Just like when you make after you make your bologna. I mean, after you make your gravy, you break pieces off the bologna and put that in
I
there.
mean, I've heard
But
of
instead of sausage, it's bologna.
I have. Oh, wait, hold on. I've heard of gravy and sausage and gravy. That's wonderful. But
Oh yeah.
by the way, for those of you who don't know, I think the absolute best sausage and gravy, no doubt, is Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen has the best sausage and gravy, in my humble opinion. I haven't had that. I think the last time I had that was like maybe 2014.
Yeah, my daddy used to make that a lot, gravy and bologna.
Wow. Okay,
Now,
what up?
he did something that I didn't like. He put crackers and milk or milk and bread, crumbs of bread. I didn't like that, though, but he did.
Wow.
Isn't it weird how you put things together and it turns out to be a pretty good meal?
See, actually, we grew up too as well, and people don't know this as well. I love chili. Boy, I love my mom's chili. My mom's chili was phenomenal, just amazing, and I loved peanut butter. So what my mom would do, I don't know how if you guys do this, who's watching, but my mom would actually put spaghetti noodles in the chili. Man, that's the best darn thing in the world. And then the peanut butter sandwich, and you dip the peanut butter sandwich in the chili with the noodles. Man, it's like heaven. It is. I have not had that in years.
I ate her chili. It was good.
Oh yeah.
My stars, it was good. Bless your heart.
No, seriously, I know. I promise you guys. I promise it doesn't. I give you my word. If you go, for example, Wendy's has really good chili. Really good chili. If you go to Wendy's and get some chili, and then just boil some noodles, spaghetti noodles, not a whole lot, but decent size, and then actually put them in a bowl and put the chili in there and mix it. It is, I'm telling you, it must be a Southern thing because it is wonderful. It truly is. Man, now let's go get some Wendy's, Miss Wilma. Let's go over and get some Wendy's.
You know what I put in my chili?
Oh no,
spaghetti and meatballs.
Well, spaghetti, I'm there with you, but I guess. Yeah, I guess meatballs.
I'll kind of take some of the meatballs out, but just smash them in there.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll put them in there too.
What other story do you guys have? What other story do you have for us?
Well, in Hawaii.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Hawaii.
80 deaths. Oh my stars.
Yeah.
It just breaking my heart.
Yeah.
The cost to rebuild it is going to be $5.52 million with the B.
Wow.
$1 million to rebuild. 2,200 buildings was burnt. 2,170 acres was burnt, and including a famous tree, banyan.
Oh.
The tree was 150 years old. It breaks my heart when I was seeing all those pictures. People was jumping in the ocean trying to get away from the fire, and they was asking visitors to leave as soon as as possible. And it started with the brush fire, and
yeah.
But it just broke my heart when I saw that.
See, here's the thing. I think in the United States, and I really do believe this, and I talked to some forest rangers, some friends of mine, and they agree. The big problem right now that we have in many of our forests, because there are so many, we have a lot of forests in this country. But here's the big issue. When leaves die or when limbs die and basically they fall on the ground of the forest, you have a lot of clutter and you have a lot of dried leaves. You have basically fuel, so that when lightning strikes and hits a forest area, and then that's just going to ignite. We really need to do better, I think, as a country, but we don't have any funds for this. The forest ranger said that's one of the big things that they are always fighting, is trying to clean up the forest, the dead limbs, the dried leaves, because that is fuel. So if lightning strikes a tree and you have all that fuel there, we really don't do a great job with cleaning up our forest, because obviously it's so vast, it's so huge. And that's really what happened in Hawaii, is that there's just no funding to go out and to sweep up all that because it's a never-ending cycle. There's always going to be dead limbs. There's always going to be leaves, and it's so expensive, obviously, to clean that up. But yeah, it is. You're right. It's kindling, it just like this. All it takes is one lightning strike, and that's it. It lights up like a ball of fire. And yeah, that's a big issue.
Another thing what people don't think is when it's dry leaves, when people are smoking,
oh yeah,
they throw their butts anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, and all of a sudden when they throw them butts out there, it's like, okay, it's on fire.
That's true.
It's like, yeah, it's crazy.
That's true.
I'll get to my movie real quick now.
What's your movie? What's your movie?
Okay, Big Business with Lily Tomlin and Bette Midler.
Okay.
Now these women, this woman and man, they was from the city of New York, and another couple lived in the country. Now, at the same time, of course, they were born. The nurse gets the twins mixed up. 40 years later, they get involved in a business deal to buy and close a factory that's in the country. But having the news, the twins that was in the country, they go to New York and try to stop them. Now, I don't want to give it away, but everything goes crazy with these four girls because the twins are mixed up.
Yeah.
This is a funny movie. It's on Disney Plus.
All right. Hey, woman, you want to hear some dumb criminals?
Yes.
Well, let me tell you some dumb criminal stories to make you laugh, and maybe you'll enjoy these. Well, you see, in 2017, a man in Oregon attempted to rob a restaurant, but things didn't go as planned. You see, he handed the cashier a note demanding money, but instead of keeping it discreet, he wrote the note on back of his pay stub check, which had his name and address on it. Needless to say, he was easily caught by the police. Not a bright thing, folks, not a bright thing. In 2015, a man in Florida broke into a home and decided to cook himself a meal, Miss Wilma. However, he got distracted and he decided to take a nap on the couch before he could eat it. And when the homeowner returned and found the intruder sleeping on the couch, they called the police, which obviously arrested him. In 2018, a man in England attempted to rob a convenience store while wearing a see-through plastic bag over his head as a disguise. So his plan to remain anonymous failed miserably, as his face was clearly visible through the bag. The store's video obviously captured him and leading him to his arrest. In 2013, a man in California tried to break into a house by climbing through the chimney. Unfortunately for him, he got stuck and had to call the fire department to rescue him because he said he had too much water weight. Not only did he fail to enter the house, but he also ended up getting arrested for attempted burglary. And finally, in 2019, a man in Texas stole a car and decided to take a selfie inside the vehicle to celebrate his successful theft. However, he accidentally activated the car's GPS system, which sent his location to the car's owner. The police obviously easily tracked down and arrested him very easily. So there you go, folks. Our criminal stories for the week.
So cute.
I mean, can you imagine a see-through bag?
People do that, though,
A see-through bag. That's genius.
I like the ones that check too.
Yeah, you're going to arrest. You're going to rob a convenience store. And you put the note, give me your money or else. And you put it on the back of your pay stub. I don't know, folks. I don't know.
Well, I wouldn't jump off here because I know you want to get to your paranormal. And I hope I did put a smile on y'all.
Sure you did.
Face I tried. And I love all of you and hope y'all have a great night. God bless.
All right, Miss Wilma. I'll talk to you a little later. You have a good one.
Okay, you too. Night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. That was Miss Wilma. Yeah, she's, I tell you what, she is. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Jason, there's a tornado on the ground where you are right now. Well, definitely stay safe, Jason. Yeah, there's a lot of tornado. There's a lot of people are getting hit with those tornadoes. I tell you what, it's terrible. Where are you located there? Well, get into a location. Get to a safe location, buddy. Trying to see where the. Oh yeah, there's actually tornadoes up in several locations. You know what? This weather, I don't know. I don't really want to get into a big argument regarding global warming and all that stuff. But I got to tell you, I still don't understand. And someone, maybe if you know, help me out. Okay, if you can give me an answer, I would appreciate this. Okay, I really would, because I know once you start talking global warming, people immediately and I'm not talking global warming. But here's what I do know. I know that I have been in Kentucky all my life, except of course when I went to college and to graduate school. When we were growing up, and my sister Shannon, she's in the chat room on TikTok, she'll verify this, or anybody who's lived in Kentucky, you'll verify this, you know, in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even in the 90s, when we had January and February were cold. I mean, January and February were cold months in Kentucky. That was no joke. I remember, oh boy, I remember, you know, getting up early in the morning, having to go to school and us waiting for the bus. Man, it was freezing. We now have tornadoes in January in Kentucky. Now, I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is why. And all. I don't know why. Well, hello there, Serbia. Welcome. That's wonderful. Serbia, isn't it amazing? It's so amazing. People from all around the world tune in. From Serbia and all over the world. It's beautiful. But it's crazy. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. So if you guys can explain that to me, I would. Right. It was snow. And cold. But like I said, now we have tornadoes in January and February. I can't understand it. I don't. So, and again, I don't want to get into a big, huge. In Oklahoma, we had a tornado last December. Yeah, I mean, it is because everything is crazy with the weather. Yeah, it's weird. I don't understand. Okay, so if you can explain that to me, that would be great because I can't. The Bible does mention that there will be significant changes in the weather towards the end times. Actually, in the book of Revelation, for those of you who are interested, it describes various catastrophic events that will occur, including extreme weather patterns, such as storms and earthquakes and plagues. The events are often interpreted as signs of the end times of the second coming of Christ. But however, I don't like to frighten. Well, thank you very much, Cupcake. It's important to note that the interpretations of these passages may vary among different religious traditions and scholars, but the Bible does mention this, so it's an interesting concept. We just simply don't know. Now, for those of you, also, I want to remind you that I do have Spreaker. I have a podcast. I podcast all the presentations. I'm just not very good with utilizing social media. I wish I was. I wish I was better. I'm not. And quite honestly, someone asked me the other day. They said, Bishop Long, would you consider doing radio, just radio, not video, just do a radio show on the paranormal, like Monday through Friday? It would be fun because I actually used to do it. The only problem is when you do something like that, you have to have a producer. There's no way you can do it all because you have to produce a show. And sometimes if they're 2-hour shows, that's a lot of work. That is a lot of work. Thank you, Cupcake. So that would be the only way. I would love to do like a paranormal show every Monday through Friday. Love it. No. I don't have a producer. There's no way. I could not do. There's no way I could do it by myself. I just couldn't. Because that takes a tremendous amount of time to organize, because you have to come up with what are you going to talk about. You have to come up with all the material, And then, of course, I would actually put it all together and present it. But the producer has to come up with, okay, what are you going to talk about Monday? What are you going to talk about Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Are you going to have any guests on? And you have to organize that. And that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. So, no, there's no way I would do that by myself. I tried it. And I said, I got to stop that. Can't do it no more. Can't do it no more because it was just too much. It was too much. Okay. Yeah, I would love to, Judy Ann, I would love to, I would love to find somebody. Well, it's more than scheduling. A producer would be, like I said, when you're a producer, you have to say, okay, you have to set the schedule. Okay, Bishop Long, on Monday, I want you to, this is the topic. Tuesday, this is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, what Friday? And then you might have, I'm going to put a guest on. So like Monday, it might be a Bigfoot show. And you have to, and a producer would have to, if you're going to have a guest, if I'm going to interview somebody, fine, I'd interview them, but they would have to, you have to get their contact information. You have to get their bio. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes on the shows. So when I do my Friday shows, I'm working all week putting them together just on a Friday. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's why it's just so much. There's a lot of work. Coordinator, sure, yeah. But it's a lot of work to it, but I would love to do it. Okay. Now, I want to remind you, of course, we're not getting off now, but tomorrow we are going to be here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, thank you. Yeah, you're a one-man show. You know, that's the thing. When it comes to other topics, people ask me all the time, why don't you bring other guests on for demonology? Why? Because, see, here's the deal. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm an expert on ufology. I'm not an expert on Bigfoot. I'm not an expert on cryptozoology. No. So I would definitely. It would be great to have a guest on to talk about that. But I think when it comes to demonology, when it comes to exorcisms, I very rarely bring someone on, and primarily because it's hard to find somebody who's actually credible, who knows what they're talking about, who's actually been trained. And so I have to be very careful about that. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Listen to this. We have some stories that I wanted to present to you and see what you guys think about some of these stories. It's weird. It's really strange. Listen, I don't understand this. Maybe you can explain this to me. Sam Tonkin, he wrote this. And they say, meet NASA's new moon rovers. Trio of miniature robots the size of a carry-on suitcase will create a 3D map of the lunar surface next year. Okay, I'm a space nerd. For those of you who know me, I went to space camp when I was a kid. I went to Huntsville, Alabama. Let me read this for you, and I'm going to tell you why I have questions about this. It says they may be the size of a carry-on suitcase, but NASA's new moon rovers still pack a punch when it comes to technology. The trio of miniature bots are set to launch to our natural satellite next year, where they will deploy cameras and ground-penetrating radar to create a 3D map of the lunar surface. Engineers at the space agency have just released new pictures and video of the rovers in action. The hope is that they will work together to showcase how multi-robot missions could potentially enable new science or support astronauts in future lunar missions. They are due to arrive at the moon aboard a lander in 2024, where they will be lowered onto the Rainier Gamma region via tethers. Okay. Each of the four-wheeled rovers will then dive to find a sunbathing spot where they'll open their solar panels and charge up. And once this has been completed, the bots will spend a full lunar day, about 14 Earth days, carrying out experiments designed to test their capabilities. All right. The rovers, which are part of NASA's Cooperative Autonomous Distributed Robotic Exploration project, will be given their instructions by a base station aboard the 13-foot tall lander, basically taking them to the moon. Okay, it says here, it could change how we do exploration in the future. The question for future missions will become, how many rovers do we send and what will they do together? So it goes on and it talks a little bit about these little, and they're cute little things. Here's the issue that I have with this. Okay. The United States first landed a man on the lunar surface in 1969. We have not been there since 1972. Why are we acting like we've never been to the moon? I don't, I'm confused. If you guys can help me out understand that, I mean, we're acting like we've never been. You're sending rovers to the moon, okay, to do 3D mapping. Okay, I mean, isn't that what satellites are for? This is very strange, isn't it? I mean, really, see if now, when it comes to conspiracy theories, but I really have to. I mean, really, when you think about that, we haven't been to the moon since 1972, and we can't go back to the moon right now because they say that we're going to the technology. What do you mean? We went there in 1969. That's a long time ago, and now you're going to tell. Yeah, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. That's very nice. And now you're going to tell us that we have to send rovers up there as if we've never been? I don't know. I can't. I like you. I like British people. Just okay. Virgil, again, I'm going to say this again. I run the show on 3 computers. You are not the only person asking a question. I don't know why people get nasty. I don't have a problem with you, Virgil. What I have a problem with is people who think they are entitled for me to stop the show and pay attention only to you, when in fact I have 740,000 followers on TikTok. And right now I have 231 questions on Messenger. And I also have the show running on 3 computers. So let's back off on this entitlement mentality, because that's getting annoying. Anyway, you just can't please anybody. You just unbelievable. Some people. And for that, Virgil, I will ignore you now. Okay. Anyway, it seems very strange. It just seemed very odd to me that, okay, I accept your apology. It gets annoying when people get nasty. And so what is your question, Virgil? And I will periodically look over. Yeah, his name is Virgil. Yeah, that's what I said, Virgil. Okay. Chilling on the, yeah. Okay. God, but I'm hurting to be lost his families. Yeah, I like Psalm 23, Stephen. I like Psalm 23 and Psalm 91. But when you're going through difficult times, that's what I like. I like Psalm 23. I like Psalm 91. The St. Michael prayer is a beautiful prayer. So that's what I would encourage that. And even Psalms are great. The Psalms. Oh, hello, Ireland. Psalms are wonderful. It was all orchestrated. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people do say it. Who says it was orchestrated? Deb, is Virgil? Virgil, are you saying it was orchestrated? There's a lot of people who say it was. There's a lot of people who are absolutely convinced that we never went to the moon. So, but I'm just saying it seems odd to me that we're not going back until what, next year they're talking about. And they act like we don't have the technology. So I don't know. So yeah, I know there's a lot of people who say that we haven't been. So Virgil, what's your question? What's your question? Because I want to answer your question, and I'm trying to answer as many questions as I can, but I will do the best I can. Best I can. All right. So we're good. We're good, Virgil. We're good. What's your question, bud? And yes, I do like the UK. I've never been to the UK, but I've always wanted to go. Okay. It's only because it's so the history of it's amazing. All right, listen to this. This is kind of interesting as well, and I don't know what you guys think about this. This is by John Ward. This is allegedly, so I don't know, but you tell me. Well, yeah, no, he apologized again. Virgil's good. Virgil, we're good. Uh, hand in hand, Virgil. Okay. A prolific UFO hunter believes he has discovered a secret underwater alien base off the coast of Yorkshire. There we go, there, Virgil. Now, Russell Callett says that he has made the discovery after spending 20 years investigating the site of a reported alien abduction in the area. You see, RAF pilot William Schaffner, not Shatner, Schaffner, crashed his plane off Filey Beach near Scarborough in Yorkshire. Virgil, let us know if you know about this story. There were claims that he was chasing a UFO before crashing. His body was never found. Now, a BBC investigation later describing the incident as the most plausible British alien abduction story in history. The footage shows two crafts in the sea side by side. They are flying triangles, and they were very close to the road. And it says there's no logical explanation as to what it could be. And people have said it could be a plane or a boat. But that close to the road in this location in the middle of the night, not a chance. Says, quote, I've come to the conclusion that there must be an underwater alien base off the coast of Filey Beach. Virgil, do you know where that is? He added, the pilot who crashed it into the North Sea, in my opinion, was definitely abducted by aliens. And I believe this underwater base had something to do with it, he said. The flying object seems to be able to outrun and outmaneuver our Air Force. Says, I think the crafts may not show up on radar. Now, Russell has decided to share his findings in light of the U.S. government's hearings of the existence of aliens. Now, he said, now more than ever, people are starting to believe that there is an alien life not only out there, but also visiting Earth. Secret MOD documents found in 2002 claim that Schaffner had not encountered a UFO, but saw a Shackleton reconnaissance aircraft that he was trying to intercept during an exercise. But UFO experts believe that they just covered it up, and actually it does that there was an alien abducted. I don't know. So you guys can Google this. His name is Russell Callett, and he believes that in fact there is some alien base underwater. Some people are absolutely convinced that there is. Some people are debatable, but don't immediately say no. Don't throw this out, because here's another story that might make you start thinking, Russell Russell Kellett, K-E-L, Russell Kellett, K-E-L-L-E-T-T. But listen to this story. This story I found, it was by Matthew Phelan. Okay, now, scientific proof, according to this author, of the existence of intelligent extraterrestrial life could be coming in less than a month, according to a top physicist at Harvard. At Harvard. So here it is. Tiny metal fragments recovered from the crash site of a meteor-like UFO that plunged into the Pacific Ocean in 2014 were strong enough to potentially be some artificial alloy, according to a Harvard physics professor, A.V. Loeb. Now, he actually believes that this thing, there's something going on, that it is a UFO crash. He says there is a chance that it is artificial, that it is a spacecraft, said Loeb, leader of the recovery efforts to dredge the fragments off the coast of Manus Island this June. So Loeb, who is also the director of the Institute for Theory and Computation at Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics, said that the results of this month's analysis could definitely reveal humanity's first contact with aliens. This is very interesting. He says, I'm expecting further news within a month, Loeb told the reporters, and that's the hope. And Loeb reports that no less then 4 research institutions are currently training their scientific equipment and personnel on samples from the recovered metal fragments. So the fragments, 50 mostly iron spheres, about 0.1 to 0.7 millimeters in diameter, likely came from an object that originated outside of our solar system. And based on analysis by Loeb and a former student, as well as scientists with the United States Space Command. So Loeb's colleagues in Germany and New Guinea and 2 top universities in the United States are now busy scrutinizing the spheres to determine if their atomic isotopes, the chemical composition, and other details can prove an otherworldly origin. Says we are in the process of finding out within a month or so, and what this meteor was made of, and whether it perhaps technological or is it origin or not. They simply don't know. Now, Loeb and his colleagues have taken to calling the object, and you can Google this, you can look this up, and I'll get your questions in just a second. Hold on. LM1, or I'm sorry, IM1 for Interstellar Meteor 1. So you can Google this, IM1, the letter I, M1, Interstellar Meteor 1. That's what this is called. Although it carries another more technical name with NASA's Center for Near Earth Object Studies. Now, IM1 is currently ranked first in terms of material strength out of all the 273 fireballs in the NASA meteor catalog. They say it was moving faster than 95% of the nearby stars near the sun because of some propulsion it had, according to Loeb. It was also made of some very tough material. Thank you very much. So Loeb has left open the possibility that IM1, which is estimated to have been 3 feet in diameter and approximately half a U.S. ton in weight, and has burned through the Earth's atmosphere, shedding tiny molten metal droplets. It might have been, he believes, an alien probe. So the size of a meteor-like object is within the ballpark of humanity's own probes now sailing deeper into the cosmos, like the Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 spacecraft, which, of course, at the longest points of their high-gain antennas came to a length of 12 feet. This is crazy. The unmanned exploratory probe Voyager 2 is currently itself an interstellar object. So we launched this. It's now over 12.3 billion with a B, 12.3 billion miles away from the Earth, but still beaming its heartbeat signal back to NASA. Folks, I mean, we have a Harvard astrophysicist here who is saying that this asteroid contains some type of metal component, and they believe that this could, in fact, be the possibility of some probe that an alien life created. That is, I'm telling you, that's very, very cool. That's very cool stuff, and we'll have to keep an eye on that because. So we have a TikTok. Do you believe that aliens are real? 82% said yep, and 13% said no. So it's clear something's going on. But when I saw that, I've got to share that with you. Okay, here's Virgil. My main areas of interest are astrophysics. Well, okay, well, Virgil, you got to let us know what you think about this. What has always fascinated me is the block universe theory that all reality, including the future, exists now. Kind of like destiny, your death has already happened. Your time car hasn't gotten you there yet. I make sense of this by thinking of the universe in a thought experiment of mine as a road with a beginning and end, and time as a car you drive through it, but with no reverse gear. The faster you go, the less you age because of time dilation. Yeah, A1 aluminum on the, okay. You can stay at my place. I have a big house in Manchester, England. No charge. Well, thank you very much there, Virgil. It's interesting though. So what do you think about that, Virgil? Since you're an astrophysicist, you enjoy astro. I'm going to be very interesting. I'm going to be very interested to see what they do, what they say. Okay. Bishop, do you ever learn anything about the paranormal that you didn't already know? Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, yeah. That's why I love the paranormal, because the paranormal is the unknown, and that's why I love studying the paranormal. But I also love studying science, and with this type of stuff, really, I mean, my nerd uh, helmet is really showing now, because when you talk about space and you're talking about these meteors and containing some type of metal object, that's going to be a really interesting, very, very interesting to find out. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people as far as dimensions. We just simply don't know. Oh, thank you very much for the universe. Thank you. It's very kind of you for the. I appreciate it, and I apologize if I've not said thank you to each one of you who have given the gifts to the ministry, and thank you for the 86,000 likes on TikTok as well. No, there's really nothing in the Bible about aliens. There's people who um, try to connect the dots somehow with aliens, but there really is nothing specifically there. Okay. Yep. Glad. Okay, listen to this one. This is interesting. This I found, and I thought I'm going to pat. This is by Anthony Thrower. And this again is in England. A ghost hunter vows never to return to a haunted tunnel after a voice says two chilling words. So for those of you who are in the UK, let us know what you think about. Have you ever heard of this place? Andrew Pollard, aka the Yorkshire ghost guy, was spooked during a recent visit to the notorious, I think I'm saying this right there, Cadeby Tunnel in Doncaster. I hope I said that right, which is said to be haunted by a spirit of a young girl. Well, a spooked ghost hunter has vowed to never return to this notorious tunnel because he heard two terrifying voices that had chilling words. Andrew Pollard, known as the Yorkshire Ghost Guy, recently made a return visit to Cadeby Tunnel in Doncaster on his most recent investigation of the paranormal. See, in a previous investigation, his equipment captured a foul-mouthed specter telling him to F the word off before claiming it was trapped. What? I don't see. However, his recent visit seemed to turn more sinister when he checked his audio when he got home and he heard a voice giving him a distinct warning to leave and not return. You see, the tape is heard him saying, "It's him. Get him out. Get rid of him. Get out." And later in the creepy video, more whispered conversations can be heard. And Andrew told the media that recent visit to Cadeby will be my last, certainly alone anyway. The thing is, you don't really know what you're captured with regards to audio until you get home. And that's true. When you're doing EVP work, that's absolutely true. When you have a digital recorder and you're investigating, and is anyone here? Can you make a noise? Can you do something? Many times you hear nothing. Many times you hear nothing at all. And then when you play it back and you remember where you were when you asked that question, and you might have felt some really uncomfortable feelings, your sixth sense was telling you, hey, you got to get out of here. And when you play something back, and then you hear a Class A EVP. EVP stands for electronic voice phenomena. When you hear that, that really does kind of like, wow. I mean, it sometimes can take your breath because you know you're only one there. And when you play something back and you hear something like that, it's crazy. East Drive in England. I'll have to check that out. Okay. So Andrew Pollard caught the ghostly voice during the encounter. And one of the tales linked to the tunnels is of a young girl who was killed and known as the Mexborough Ragger. So legend says that she was selling rags inside, but when she heard a train approaching, she was not able to make it out in safety in time. That's terrible. And well, that's terrible. So the video, if you can go online, it says he is heard saying, "It's still light, but I just don't like this place at all. For all the world, I thought I heard someone coming towards me." It sounds silly, and I'm not doing it for dramatic effect, he says, but I do not like it down here. Only been down here once before on my own. I don't like it at all. You know, that's one thing I tell people: do not, when you're paranormal investigating, you should not do it alone. Because and there's a lot of reasons as to why. And the primary reason is, number one, you really don't, I mean, you could get hurt. And when you're investigating, let's say you're investigating at night and you hear a noise or you hear a disembodied voice, and then you take off and you run, you can get hurt. You can break an ankle. I mean, there's so many things you can do. So I always tell people, you really should never investigate by yourself. It's just not a good idea. It's not a good idea. And also, when you're investigating a location, I tell people, especially if you're going to go there at night, if you're not familiar with the area, then go during the day. Don't show up there at night not having any idea of the topography of the land. Just simply don't do it. Because if you do, and you're not familiar with it, and something happens and you hear a growl or whatever it might be, and you're frightened and you take off, that is the worst mistake that you can make. I think so, because I've talked to a lot of people and they have really gotten hurt. I just think it's not a good idea to ever go alone. And I always tell people, always have someone with you, always, because it is serious. And I've had a lot of friends in the paranormal over 20 years. Actually, 35 years ago was when the first time I ever investigated. But I got to tell you, there's a lot of people who've told me that they wish they would have visited a place before during the day, but they don't. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you also about is solar flares. Solar flares, I think, are really highly misunderstood, but people don't realize how dangerous they can be. Solar flares are no joke. There's a lot of debate from people in the field and whether or not we really are at a disadvantage. But really, I think most people who understand solar flares understand that a major solar flare could do some serious damage to our electric grid. Well, Teresa Poltrova wrote this, and I wanted to share this with you. And actually, a powerful sunstorm knocks out radio transmissions across North America. So the sun unleashed its second X flare in less than 3 days. And we should brace for more such activity. She says a powerful solar flare disrupted radio and navigation signals across North America on August the 7th and prompted space weather forecasters to issue warnings because of energetic particles hitting Earth. Now, this flare was the 20th X flare, the most potent solar flare category of the current 11-year solar cycle, which will reach its maximum, by the way, next year. Solar flares are energetic flashes of radiation that explode from magnetically dense, cool regions on the sun's surface, known as sunspots. And traveling at the speed of light, the photons from these flares arrive at our planet in 8 minutes. And as the radiation from the flares interacts with particles on Earth's ionosphere, the region of the atmosphere at altitudes between 50 and 400 miles, it supercharges them. And these changes then affect radio and satellite signals that pass through that region. So that's where the interference comes in. And according to solar flare physicist Keith Strong, the blackout caused by the Monday flare was a strong category 3 on the 5-point scale developed by United States National Oceanic and Atmosphere Administration. This is kind of scary. So this flare caused an R3, a strong radio blackout event on the daylit side of the Earth. And frequencies below 5 megahertz were most affected, and navigation signals degraded. So the flare burst out of the largest and most active sunspot group currently visible on the sun's disk, according to UK space weather forecaster Met Office, and emerged only 2 days after a somewhat weaker X flare that occurred on Saturday. Here's the deal, and this is the truth. And I believe this. I believe that our power grid is very vulnerable. Incredibly vulnerable, Thank you very much for the universe. Thank you. And thank you for that. I sincerely appreciate that. Thank you. Um, what's happening now? It happened August the 7th. They had we had a flare. We had a storm flare here. And so it's currently happening, but actually next year, they're expecting the solar flares to get even worse. So it's going to be at its height. And so we have to be careful. Thank you. Thank you. So we have to be very, very careful. Man, you know what? I'm telling you, I'm hoping that whoever's in charge takes notice, because right now our power grid, if we hit a massive solar flare, we could be in trouble. Because if you got to, thank you again. If you think about everything that we do when it comes to electronic, I mean, everything computer based, just the conversation or just your cars. Many of the cars are now all computer based, or they have so much computer components in them. ATMs, the banks. I mean, it is crazy how it would affect our daily, our phones. I mean, that's kind of a scary notion if you think about it. At least I think it is. Some people may not, but anyway, I think it's kind of creepy. Okay, so let's get to some of your questions here. Some believe the fairies to be the spirits of the dead, while some believe them to be fallen angels. Though the exact provenance of fairies is unknown, the idea of a fairy is very dear to the English folklore. True, since centuries, fairies have been painting the imagination of children and adults alike with their benevolence. That's true. Yeah, as far as fairies, I had a show on. That's how cool it would be to have a bishop mess. I had a show on fairies once, and was it fairies or maybe no, it wasn't a show. I did on TikTok. There was someone who thought that it was a fairy, and I kind of debunked it because it was a moth, and they didn't like it because they thought, oh, I knew you weren't an open-minded person. It's like, dude, come on, I'm very open-minded. I love the paranormal, I love the supernatural, I love the unknown, I love the elementals and talking about. So to me, I'm very open. Have I ever seen a fairy? No. I certainly know people are absolutely 100% convinced that they know they exist, just like I know the demons exist. But I've never seen one, so I've never interacted with one, at least to my knowledge. But it would be a fascinating experience, I think. So, I would like to do a show on vampires as well. But I want to do a show. And I talked about this before. I want to do a show on vampires, but with someone who says that they are a vampire. But I'm not talking about the Edward. Thank God. I'm not talking about the Edward Cullen vampire. Or people who, for example, I understand they say they're psychic vampires. Okay. How do we verify that? You know what I mean? How do we validate that? It's hard to say. How do you validate a psychic vampire? Because that's a big thing now. That's a really, really big thing. So I think it would be really cool to actually have someone who believes fully. I love Twilight. Listen, it was a phenomenal, very successful franchise. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, truly. But I know people who absolutely believe that they are vampires, and they're like, oh, and they roll their eyes on Twilight. But the icky sticky, yeah. I've never seen Vampire Diaries. But I would love to have a show on with somebody who really believes that they are a vampire, and have an honest conversation about that. And I think that would be cool. So many of you will like this one. Many of you will like this one because I know we have a lot of people from all walks of life. All people from all walks of life watch this show. So let's listen to this. Tell me what you think about this. This is by Kate Fenley. Well, a ghost of a servant has been allegedly seen flying her broomstick over the UK town she haunts after witchcraft rumors. Okay. A ghost of a farmer's servant is rumored to fly her broomstick over Cambridgeshire town, where she was accused of witchcraft. Alice Samuel, along with her husband and daughter, known as the Witches of Warboys, were executed in 1593 after being accused of causing the 9-year-old daughter of Robert Throckmorton, the squire of the Warboys, to suffer from fits. And similarly, I think Izzard was accused of bewitching children and causing them to have fits. But several centuries later, she was able to escape with her life after an attempt, and was made by villagers to throw her into a pond to see if she would float or sink. That's what they did back then. Anne is believed to have been born in Offord around 1760 and worked as a servant for a farmer in Great Paxton before getting married, moving to Great Staughton, and having a child. Well, both Anne and her husband, who had the surname Wright, appear to have been unemployed by 1783, leaving them to apply for parish relief. And they were moved back to Great Paxton, as local parish officials often wanted to move the burden of providing relief onto other places. Well, the family continued to receive parish relief until 1808, when one of the 6 children got a job working for a farmer. Well, the family became very poor without support from the parish, and it seems that Anne may have begun begging for food, reports the Cambridgeshire Live. Well, in 1808, a few local girls began having fits, which were attributed allegedly to witchcraft, with Anne becoming the prime suspect. And on another occasion, Anne was blamed for a cart overturning as it had returned from St. Neot's market. A group of villagers dragged Anne naked from her bed on Sunday, May 8th, 1808, beating her and scratching her until they drew blood, since they thought this would weaken her power as a witch. Well, Anne was looked after by a neighbor, by Alice Russell, who was then also accused of being a witch herself. And just over a week later, Alice was dragged from her bed again for another beating. And villagers threatened to throw her in the pond to see whether she would float. But Anne managed to escape. And those who attacked her were arrested, tried, and spent a month in jail. Well, Anne later moved to St. Neot's, and where the accusations of witchcraft followed her. And legend has it that she still rides her broomstick over the churchyard, with sightings of her there and other local places. And by the way, the two accounts of the witches of Warboys and Anne Lizard may show how differently people accused of witchcraft were treated between 1500s and 1800s. But although Anne was not killed, the accusation still made her life harder. She was buried in an unmarked grave in St. Neot's in 1838. Isn't that just so stupid? Just utterly stupid. See, this is... They're struggling as it is just to live. And then you got this witchcraft nonsense and harming people, killing people, throwing them in the water to see if they'll drown or sink or swim. It's just so dumb. It truly is. So many people were falsely accused. It is she's from Cambridgeshire. That's where it says here. From Cambridgeshire, accused of a broomstick. Okay, where she's okay. Yeah, it's that's what it says here. Great Paxton. I'm trying to read it again. Let's see. Saint whatever it is, I think it's St. Neot's, Neots market. So wherever that is located there, but it's terrible. Okay, with a broomstick over the churchyard in Ainsborough. So Ainsbury. Yeah, that's all. It's terrible. Poor. Just so stupid. Yeah, there were a lot of people that were falsely accused of witchcraft, and unfortunately, these people, as we know, even in the United States, my goodness, it's terrible. Yeah, I did a presentation on the Salem witch trials, and I think we should do that again because it's been a while. Yeah, I'm not a witch. I'm not into witchcraft, but I mean, for goodness sakes, I mean, the people, what they did, what I mean, just absurd, truly absurd. A lot of innocent people died, and I think it's a real shame. For those of you, by the way, yeah, I think, as far as making them paranoid, there was so much superstition in culture at that time, and indoctrination, and the heavily belief in witchcraft that it just it's kind of interesting what some people have done throughout the history, the years. It's true. If you like Loch Ness monster, well, there is a new there's an organization that is needing or wanting your help. This is by Nadine El Bawab, and it's a tourist group. Says it's running the largest search for Nessie in decades. So monster hunters, it says, assemble. The Loch Ness Center announced it's set to begin the biggest search in over 50 years for the mythical creature known as Nessie, and volunteers are needed. So, in partnership with research team Loch Ness Exploration, that's what it's called, Loch Ness Exploration, the tourist attraction is looking for volunteers to join in a search for the legendary monster from August the 26th through the 27th this month. The search is dubbed the biggest of its kind since the Loch Ness Investigation Bureau studied the lake in 1972. Quote, over the weekend, surveying equipment that has never been used on Loch Ness before will be enlisted to uncover the secrets of the mysterious waters. This includes thermal drones to produce thermal images of the water from the air using infrared cameras, as observing heat from above could provide a crucial component for identifying any mysterious anomalies, the Loch Ness Center said. So the Loch Ness Center is looking for volunteers to take part in a surface watch of the loch to keep an eye out for breaks in the water, for any type of movements that cannot be explained. Volunteers will be briefed on what to look out for and how to record the findings. By the way, tickets are also being sold for cruises available for the weekend, with the opportunity to use a 60-foot hydrophone to listen for noises in the loch. So the mythical creature is said to inhabit Loch Ness in the Scottish Highlands, according to local folklore. Reported sightings and a series of disputed photos depict the dinosaur-like beast with a long neck. Previous attempts to find the creature have yielded scant evidence of its existence. So you can go on, you can Google that, Google and find out the volunteering for just type in the Loch Ness Center. Now, that's where you want to go. So they're going to have videos. They're going to have video everywhere, drones. So they want you to be watching this live. And perhaps, who knows, maybe you could be the one saying, hey, look at this. Look at this. Hey. So it's called the Loch Ness, LOCHNESS Exploration. I have not seen that, Brunilda. I have not seen that. But I encourage you, all of you, if you like near-death experiences, to go check the nderf.org, nderf.org. That's the world's largest website containing near-death experiences. So, but you don't have to go. Again, folks, you don't have to go. You can watch it online. So just type in the Loch Ness Center. CENTRE. And it's going to be there on the website. You can actually watch it live. You can watch the drones, watch the videos, and something to do. Artificial intelligence is creepy. I got to tell you something. I was flipping through the channels the other day, and there was a commercial. Well, let me fix this. My little microphone's about to come off here. Hold on one second. There we go. There was a commercial that I flipped through, and it was people, and they were talking, and I think it was like teenagers, and I thought, well, okay, they're actors, paid actors, no big deal. But then they said something that really was creepy. They said, I was made from artificial intelligence. Now I can't remember what the commercial was, but it showed I think a couple teenagers. I can't remember their names or anything, but they weren't real. Have you guys seen this? They were. I was flipping the channel, and they were talking, and I could not tell the difference. I could not tell the difference at all between. I thought that they were real. Was it? So if you can explain that, it is really, that is crazy. But I saw this. Uh, okay. Well, if you do, man, I wish I could. I wish I could remember it. I think that's it, John. I think that's it. There's one about child hunger. I think you're right. I think John is right. Let me double check on this. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I think that's right. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Yeah. So I'm watching it now. I think this is it. Hold on. I want to make sure. That's it. This is insane. If you guys have not watched this, go on YouTube. I Am Child Hunger in America. That's the name of it. It's called Feeding America. And I had always heard that people were that the politicians were getting concerned and everybody about. And I think, well, why? It's AI. It's a robot. It's a robot. No, watch this commercial. When I saw that, I thought, now I understand why there's concern. This is crazy. I mean, seriously, if you've not seen it, do it. It's called I Am Child Hunger in America. And it's called by Feeding America. And they're not real. No, I agree. I agree. No kid should be hungry. I agree with that. That 100% agree with that. That the issue is this is artificial intelligence. That the image of this girl that they have, she's not real. She's not a real person. That's it. No, it's on YouTube. Go to YouTube and type in I Am Child Hunger in America. She's artificial intelligence. That is, I'm telling you, this is when I saw that, you can't tell the difference. I could not tell the difference. Let me see if I can pull it up here. And I Am Child Hunger, and that's what when I saw that, that's when I understood. Okay, now I understand the issue. Now I understand, because I didn't. I was like, well, it's artificial intelligence, big deal. I mean, it's why it's so scary.
I am a child hunger. Looks like in America. I am a 9-year-old boy who hopes a friend invites me to sleep over so I can have dinner. I am a 15-year-old girl who goes for walks during lunch.
This is not a real person.
My friends will know I don't have anything to eat.
That is creepy. See, when I saw that, like I said, I had heard about artificial intelligence, and because I had heard it in the news, and it really didn't hit me until I watched that when I saw that on television. It's on television. It's a commercial. And when I saw that, I thought, oh, now we have a problem. Yeah, and you're right. Someone said this is the issue. This is the issue that in Hollywood. Yeah, Rich says, yeah, this is one of the many reasons that Hollywood writers and actors have joined in on a strike. Because ultimately what they can do now is they can take Elvis Presley's image and put it in a brand new 2023 movie, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. So the concern is that the actors are saying, yeah, you're going to take our image, and then 20 years from now, when they're elderly and they're not working, and then they're going to put a movie out there. That is crazy. I am child hunger in America. That is truly, truly wild. By the way, for artificial intelligence, listen to this. This is really interesting as well. Scientists have now developed an artificial intelligence system to alert us of the next pandemic. This is Rizwan Cloud Hurry, I believe. So it says here, this is this person. I'm not arguing politics. I'm just simply saying this is his article. It says, we all know how devastating the COVID-19 pandemic has been, and it could have been even worse if it had not been the efforts for scientists and health workers around the world. But what if we could get a heads up on the next most dangerous variants of a virus before they became a global threat? It says, well, a new AI system can do now just that. It can warn us about the emergence of a dangerous virus variants in future pandemics. According to a study scientists by Scripps Research and Northwestern University in the United States. The system is called EWAD, EWAD. So you can Google this, EWAD. You see the system named Early Warning Anomaly Detection. That's what EWAD stands for. Uses machine learning to analyze the genetic sequences, frequencies, and mortality rates of virus variants as they spread across the world. It says they say we could see key gene variants appearing and becoming more prevalent as the mortality rate also changed. And all this was happening weeks before this happened. This is insane. So yeah, do your own research on this. If you want to Google it, it's called EWAD, EWAD, Early Warning Anomaly Detection. But I got to tell you something. Now artificial intelligence, now I get it. Now I understand the concern. And when you see something like that, I think you too can respect that as well. It's crazy. It is crazy. Yeah, I think artificial intelligence can easily get out of hand. It is concerning to me. Because now we have artificial intelligence are talking about emotions and feelings, and I think it's I forgot the name of that robot or android that now actually I think they have citizenship in Switzerland. I believe it's Switzerland is that they granted this android. We got to be careful about this because isn't it interesting? It's really interesting when you think about the movie Terminator. And when I watched the Terminator, many years ago, I thought, okay, all right, computers, we can always control computers. We're the ones that created them. But actually, it's a good question. The question is, could in fact artificial intelligence get to a point where they become so smart that there is no way to circumnavigate what they choose to do, rather than perhaps maybe they could have complete autonomy, and that's frightening. Yeah, war games. Yeah, that's crazy. It's just something. It's something to think about, and I don't know. I never thought. Kind of blows your mind. Kind of blows your mind. Yeah, he did. Yeah, Robin Williams played. Well, purgatory. I don't think purgatory is that's a theological question, which is fine. It's open mic, but I don't think purgatory is anything scary or frightening. I think purgatory is a purging of sin, so that we can unite with God. So for me, in my theological belief, I don't see as purgatory as something that's evil. But that's just that's my belief, and we all have our belief system. That's okay. Mm-hmm. Yes, we can. Yeah, Felix, I believe you can. I am streaming on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on podcast, on Spreaker, and on TikTok as well. If you go to Bishop James Long, bishopjameslong.com, and you'll see social media there, and you'll see my links for the YouTube page and the Facebook and Twitter. So just go ahead and click on any of those links. And I run this when I do the shows. Sundays and Wednesdays is Bible study, and so we have those at 8:00, and everybody is invited to that. And then of course Fridays is our paranormal show. Fridays is at 7 p.m. That's the only show that starts at 7 on Friday Eastern Standard. And then tonight is open mic night, where we start at 8:00. And then, of course, we have we have night prayer. Well, thank you very much, Ariel. We have night prayer Monday through Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's only on podcast, though. It's live, but it's only on Spreaker. So, yeah, the transmission is still acting goofy on the Jeep. So, well, I mean, people always talk about, the Bible, and what the Bible doesn't say this, the Bible doesn't know. The Bible doesn't say a lot of things. The Bible doesn't say anything about cars. It doesn't say anything about airplanes. It doesn't say anything about space shuttles. It doesn't say anything about computers or cell phones or games or artificial intelligence. And so the computer, the Bible doesn't, that's not the point of the Bible. And when we kind of get so focused on that and saying, well, the Bible doesn't say this, or the Bible doesn't say, well, there's a lot of things the Bible doesn't say. It doesn't invalidate the things that we know that exist, or it certainly doesn't invalidate the Bible either. Just because the Bible doesn't mention computers, that doesn't mean that the Bible is invalid. Yeah, I agree with you, Rich. I can't tell either. I cannot tell the difference between. I really thought it was a person. I thought it was a real person. Fantastic. Yeah, John, that would be great. Yeah, that would be great. Why don't you do me a favor and follow me there on Facebook, John? John Moreau. Yeah, just follow me there on Facebook. That's the best way to reach out to me. TikTok is not, because I have 14,000 messages on TikTok. So go to my Facebook page and send me a holler and send me a Facebook message, and be happy to. We're all over. We're on the UK. We're everywhere, wherever there's internet. So, yeah, we have a paranormal event coming up. Yes, and it's going to be at the end of October, and I'll remind me tomorrow, and I'll let you guys know about that. I'll be at a paranormal conference. It's for a fundraising event for a historical location. So I'll let you guys know. For those of you on Spreaker, I'm definitely going to say goodnight to you guys. Yeah, we're going to wrap things up because I've got to get up quite early in the morning tomorrow. So starting a very, very, very early day, and lots of cool things I've got to take care of. Okay. I always tell you, and TikTok, hang tight with me for a second. Remember, I tell you, your value does not decrease based on someone's inability or refusal to see your worth. Remember, you're priceless, and don't let anybody tell you or convince you otherwise. So everybody have a great night. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Bible study.